In the name of Allah, who is most beneficent and most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Fatima Nasir. I am from University of Education, Lower Mall Campus, Lahore. The subject is evolution and principle of systematics. And today's topic of discussion is microtaxonomy. So let's start with today's topic. These are the some points which we will discuss in today's lecture. First one is microtaxonomy, then classification system, phenon, taxon, taxonomy categories, higher taxonomy categories, and intraspecific categories. Now first of all, what is microtaxonomy? Micro means small and taxonomy means division or classification of organisms into different categories, into different ranks. In 1975, Mayer and Ashlock first put forward the concept of microtaxonomy. Mayer and Ashlock gave the concept of microtaxonomy in 1975. And now the definition of microtaxonomy. Microtaxonomy deals with the study of variations, relationship and characteristics on a small scale. As I have told you, the meaning of micro is small. So microtaxonomy deals with the things at a smaller scale. It deals only with the problems related to species. As we know that species is the lowest category in the hierarchical system of classification. That's why microtaxonomy deals only with the things related to species. Every problem, everything related to species will be discussed in the field of microtaxonomy. One of the major problems microtaxonomy evolves around the concept of species. Many different concepts were given on the term species, that what is species, how different organism will form a species, and what will be the characteristics of species. So many different concepts were given on the term species. So microtaxonomy deals with all those problems related to the concept of species. Microtaxonomy involves the study of concepts of species like typological species concept, nominalistic species concept, biological species concept, and evolutionary species concept. As I have told you just now that many concepts were given to explain the term species. So these are the some different names of concepts that were given for the explanation of the term species. Microtaxonomy deals with problems like evolution of species, estimation of population of species in the living world or in special groups of organisms to which any 2, 3 or all species definitions can apply. It means that evolution of species. It means that microtaxonomy deals with evolution of species. Means how new different species were formed with the passage of time or evolved with the passage of time. It also gives the estimate of total population of species in the living world, how many species are present in the living world, and the implementation of definition of species to those individuals or organisms. As in the previous slide we have discussed about different species concept. Because there were different species concept, that's why there were different definitions for the term species. So it was very important for organisms to fulfill the requirements which are to fulfill the term species. That's why they are saying that any 2, 3 or all species definitions should apply to the newly formed organism or species. Microtaxonomy covers a diversity of topics including species concept, intraspecific categories, population structure, different kinds of variation within species, methods for comparing population samples, and speciation. These are the some topics which are discussed in the term of microtaxonomy, and these all are related to the species, not any other taxonomy category. So it shows that microtaxonomy deals only with the deals only with species. It Microtaxonomy deals with everything that is related to the species. Diversity. The number of living species may be as great as 100 million. Speciation may have occurred billions of times in the last 3.8 billion years. It shows that we have a very diverse variety of animals throughout years or throughout the time. Since now we have a very long list, billions of animals, so it was very much important to classify all of the animals into different groups, so that it will be easy to identify and to study a specific animal or specific organism. Here I have mentioned a term speciation. So what is speciation? Speciation means the formation of new species from previously existing species. Means from previously existing population, some organisms separate from the population and they make their own new population. So that is called as speciation. Okay. Now the classification systems. First of all, phylogenetic classification system. Group of in phylogenetic classification system, the group of organisms reflect genetic variability and evolutionary relatedness. Genetic variability means genetic variability shows the tendency of changes in genetic makeup through different populations. It shows how much change in the genes have been occurred throughout the population. And evolutionary relatedness shows the relationship between different individuals in the evolutionary history. The phylogenetic classification is based on phylogeny of the involved organism. Phylogeny means its history, its evolutionary history, means how the organism evolved in the process of evolution, and depends on the phylogenetic branching pattern. You must know about the phylogenetic tree. A phylogenetic tree shows the relationship of different individuals with each other and their ancestors. So the tree makes a branching pattern. That's why we are saying that phylogenetic branching. In this type of classification, the sequence of branching events in the evolutionary history of the group is determined. Means if we want to know about the history of any organism, then by studying its branching events, by studying its phylogeny or branching events, we can easily reach up to its ancestor, that how that organism evolved from its ancestor into the newly present form. Now the number 2, phenetic classification system. What is phenol? A phenol is a group of organisms which is recognized simply on the basis of similarity of characters, regardless of any biological interaction or genetic relatedness. So a phenol can be made by grouping of organisms that will be recognized only on the basis of similarity of characters, not any other morphological character, any other biological character or genetic relatedness. Nothing is required, just similarity of characters is required to make a group of phenol. This classification is primarily based on similarities and dissimilarities of characters. Here the total number of characters is much more important than quality of each character used, because phenol is made up by the grouping of organisms on the basis of similarity of characters. That's why total number of characters is much more important than quality of characters. And if we have one strong character and many other variable characters, then one strong character is enough to make a phenol, rather than using many other variable characters. This shows the importance of character in the phonetic classification system, that phenol can be made by only using one strong character. According to Edison 1763, the use of maximum number of characters is desirable. The phonetic method is sometimes called Neo-Edison classification. Now the number 3 is taxon. What is taxon? Taxon is a group or level of classification. It can be any particular group within a taxonomic system. As we know that taxonomics, as we have studied in the previous lectures about taxonomic categories or hierarchical system of classification. In hierarchical system of classification, we have different categories through which we can categorize the organisms. That categories are kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. These all are the taxons. One category, one group of level, one group or level of classification is called as taxon. The basic level of classification is species, that is followed by genus, family, order, class, phylum, or division in ascending order. So each of these category is called the taxon. Here you can see in the picture each category, that each category is called a taxon. In this classification scheme, only species is a real category. The species is the basic unit of classification, the only real unit, and higher taxa are purely mythical creations to help us understand relationship between organisms. Means that species, because species is made up of organisms that are related to each other and that can interbreed freely among themselves. That's why they are saying that species is a real category and the other groups are for the understanding of relationships between different organisms. Now category versus taxon. What is category and what is a taxon? Taxon is a group of living organisms and category is the name of that taxon. Category is the rank, status, or name of that taxon. For example, in humans we have order primate. Here the primate is the taxon and order is the category. We talked about order primate. Primate is the name of primate is taxon and the category is the order. Today, the generally accepted categories in the animal kingdom are the following. Here we have 18 categories which are being used nowadays for the classification purpose. Next, we have taxonomic categories. The taxonomic category can simply define as the system of classifying an individual into the specific group, class, and other categories. In order to classify an individual or organism, we use taxonomic categories. The taxonomic category was first given by the scientist Carl Linnaeus in 18th century. First of all, first he recognized only 5 categories for the animal kingdom, and those 5 categories were class, order, genus, species, and variety. 2 additional categories were soon generally adopted when the number of known animals grew. As with the diversity of the organisms, 2 more categories were introduced for classification. The first one was family and the second one was phylum. The variety used by the Linnaeus as an optional category for various types of intraspecific variants was eventually discarded or replaced by subspecies. In the 5 categories that were recognized by Carl Linnaeus, the 5th category, that was variety, was replaced by the new category that is known as subspecies. Hierarchy of categories is the classification of organisms in a definite sequence of categories that are taxonomic categories in descending order starting from the kingdom. The number of similar characters of categories decrease from lowest rank to highest rank. Here we have lowest rank, that is species, and highest rank is kingdom. Species have organisms that are similar to each other, that are mostly similar to each other or relates to each other. So on the species level there is more similarity of characters between the organism, and when we move from this lowest rank to the upper rank or the highest rank, that is kingdom, these similarities will be decreased at each step, and at each step we will have more variety or diversification of organisms. The hierarchy includes 7 obligate categories, that are kingdom, division, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Now the types of taxonomy categories. Taxonomy categories are divided into 7 major types. The first one is species. What is species? Species is a natural population in which organisms are resemble to one another, and they are also reproductive in nature. They can interbreed freely and can produce fertile offsprings. Here we have example of Mangifera indica and Panthera tigris. For example, term indica in Mangifera indica represent the specific epithet. What is epithet? Epithet is the second name in species. As we know that species is made up of two names. Now, the first one is written with alphabetic capital alphabet, and the second one is written with small alphabet. The second name is called epithet. Each species has one specific epithet and one generic name. Number 2 is genus. Genus is a group of related species which resemble one another in certain correlated characters. Correlated characters are those similar or common features which are used in delimitation of a taxon above the rank of species. And in genus, many species which are resemble to each other are included due to the correlated characters. So correlated character is basically is the basic characters through which we can move from the species level to genus level, and we have much more variety of species in genus than species, because species is composed of one single population, and genus have many more species. Number 3 taxonomy category is family. Family is a taxonomy category which contains one or more related genera. They have still less number of similarities as compared to genus and species. As we are going upward in the hierarchical or taxonomy categories, and I have told you in the previous slides that when we move upward from species level, we will have less similarities and more diversification. For example, genus Panthera, including lion, tiger, leopard, is put along with genus Felis in the family Felida. All the animals like lion, tiger, and cats have some similarities, but those similarities are not found in dog. Hence, it is placed in another family, Canada. So all the animals like lion, tiger, cats, they will be included in one genus, that is Panthera. Next is number 4, order. An order is a group of related families that exhibit a few similar characters. For example, family Felida and family Canida are included in the same order, Carnivora, because the members of the family Felida, which are a lion, tiger, cats, they also eat meat, and a member of family Canida, that is dog, they also eat meats. That's why they will put in one order, that is Carnivora. Number 5 is class. The class is a group of related orders. For example, order Primata comprising monkeys, gorillas, and gibbons are placed in class Mammalia, along with order Carnivora, which includes animals like tiger, cat, and dog, and they all having a common feature, that is hair on skin and milk glands. So that's why class is a group of related orders, because many orders can be summarized in the category class. Number 6, division or phylum. A phylum is a group of related animal classes. The term phylum is used for animals, while division is commonly used for plants. Phylum term is used for animals and division is used for plants. A division or phylum is formed from one or more classes. Number 7 is kingdom. It is the highest taxonomic category. All plants are included in kingdom Plantae, while all the animals are included in kingdom Animalia. That's why it is called the highest taxonomic category, because it only have two subdivision. One is kingdom Animalia and the second one is kingdom Plantae. There are some other categories like subdivisions, some order, some family, tribe, etc. But they are not regularly used. They are only used when they are needed. As we have discussed about them in the previous slides, mm, only the seven taxonomic categories are commonly used. Other categories are used only when there is need of those categories. Thank you so much. If you have any question, you can ask in the comments.